Hello, everybody! Welcome back to another episode of the Boss Ravioli Queens, your three favorite caregivers, Boss Lady Amy,
Nicole Ravioli,
and Jasmine the Queen.
So today's episode is called Shift Report. Because if you know anything about being in caregiving, you know that shift report can turn into a BITCH session, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We probably would have named this, that word I just said, session, but we're doing family friendly now, so not anymore.
The communication book.
Oh
my god.
That's the BITCH book.
It really is. It's like the real life burn book.
Oh,
anyway.
It's so true. But like in a professional way, because you can't call someone a fugly SLUT.
Did you see that Becky forgot to wipe a counter last night?
I came in this morning and there was crumbs everywhere. In reality, crumbs everywhere is like, there was like 3. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was 3 crumbs. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we're going to give you a little life update, and it's going to be our shift report, because that's what happens in caregiving. Shift report turns into venting for a long, long time.
I don't know why, but every time you say that this is going to be shift report, the SpongeBob imagination rainbow comes into play.
Imagination.
Alright, shameless plug for 1 minute. If you haven't watched our previous episodes on YouTube or listened, wherever you listen to podcasts, go do that. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts other than Apple, because we're poor. So we do content regarding caregiving, healthcare, and trending topics, and how it relates to our little corner of the world. So go check us out.
We're watching you.
Alright, shameless plug, done.
We're watching you watch us.
And we're funny. And if you don't think we're funny, then why are you watching?
Or listening.
I was going to say something, but it's gone. It left the station without leaving my mouth.
You've never been at the station.
You know, you do have a point. You really do have a point.
Amy lost it.
I really thought you were going to fall off the side.
I thought so too.
I was like, Boss Lady Amy down. Where's the paramedics?
Life alert.
Help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Help, I've fallen in the shower.
Press your pendant.
Literally. Which is another thing. Nobody likes to press those.
I was just going to say.
There's 2 kinds. There's the ones that don't press them at all, and the ones that
are
never stop.
Oh, but then the ones that don't press them, later when you're doing your rounds, you're just going to hear, help!
Yep, and they're waving at you from the floor.
And and you're like, how long have you been down there? And they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we're like, press this, it was around your neck the whole time.
Okay, so the other night, Sunday night, as a matter of fact, 3 times! 3 times! I caught this woman trying to get up by herself. 1 time, she succeeded. And the third time, I went in there because I heard the walker, because it doesn't have, like, tennis balls. It's one of the little, like, plastic plate on the bottom things.
Squidward tennis balls.
Yeah. So she's, like, walking herself to the bathroom. She had just gotten out of bed, made it, like, 2 steps, and I looked at her and I was like, you need to use your pendant. You use it for everything else, and I know you know that you have it. She was like, I just have to go to the bathroom. And I was like, I understand that, but we don't want you to fall. And you have fallen in the past. I was like, I'm sure you remember. You haven't been back for that long.
That's my, biggest pet peeve. Those residents that use it for everything. Oh, I want a snack. Oh, I need ice. Oh, this, oh, that.
That's the night prior. She rang for water.
She
rang so I would come and get her water.
Yeah.
Or they ring and they're just like, oh, I don't need anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or like, oh, I dropped my remote.
Mm-hmm. The one that they could literally reach, too.
Yeah. And then finally, when it's something important, like, oh, I fell, or like, oh, I need to use the bathroom, or oh, I need to get up.
They magically just forget that they have the button.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the frustration is so real. And then the other night when we were all on the phone, that one lady was just laying on it. That's why it kept going off, was because she was laying on it, because she took it off of her bed rail and put it in bed next to her.
That's what the lady that I was taking care of did. She had it like in her hand the whole time. She'd fall asleep with it in her hand.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even in her hand.
She
She rolled over and her arm was laying on it when I walked in there, because it just made like the doorbell sound like a billion times, and I was like, "What is happening?"
I know this sounds awful, but I started like waiting a little bit to answer her light because
you know they're fine.
Because she was fine, and she would fall back asleep, and then I would just go turn it off.
Do you ever have those ones where you go in there and they're like sound asleep and they're holding, like they're sleeping
Yeah,
on
they're
it,
sleeping with
and
it.
you're
Yeah,
like
pressed.
shaking them awake and they won't wake up, and then finally you try and take it out of their hand and they're like,
And then, yeah.
You startled me.
yeah, they're like, you scared me, don't do that. I'm like, what do you mean? I've been shaking you for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You scared me.
Have you ever had the ones who's like,
call 911.
but like, have you ever had the ones that like flail their arms out to the
Oh
side?
my God, yes.
That's so scary.
I always try to like approach it like cautiously first, and then I get like louder and louder, and then sometimes after that I'll just flick on the lights.
Sometimes
done
I'm
that.
like, hello. Yep. Sometimes
You know what
we
I'm
have
gonna
a
start
little
doing?
strobe light party.
I'm gonna grab a pot and a spoon from the kitchen and just wake up.
Literally.
So that's event number 1 for me.
Oh my God. Well, anyways, I didn't even tell you guys this yet, but like, no, the
We all get to
patients,
learn.
the patients at my work today were pissing me off because since I work in the lab now or whatever, there was this lady that went to the ER because she was wondering about lab orders. Yep.
What?
Yep, that was the start. And then, so the ER called us to see if there was lab orders for her, and I, like, looked it up, and I'm like, I don't see anything for her, there's nothing here for her, and then she's like, oh, well, she's supposed to get lab orders from this place, and I'm like, okay, well, so ER, I guess, called that place, or whatever, and then they called us, saying that they were going to fax over the orders. Great, whatever, that's fine, I don't care. They finally got the fax after, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
And then I submitted the fax to customer service, which is who puts in all of our orders, because, like, that's not my job.
It's not my job.
And I printed them off just in case, so we would have, a copy of them, blah, 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 or whatever. So I'm thinking, like, oh, okay, this lady's probably just gonna go home after the ER or whatever she's having problems with. And then she'll schedule an appointment or come walk in another day or whatever once the orders are put in. Well, this lady ends up coming, she's still signed in at the ER and comes over to lab to try to get these blood draws done. And I'm like,
It's not how that works.
I don't have the orders for you. Like, I have the orders, but, like, customer service needs to put them in. And I sent them over. I called them and told them to, like, try to hurry. And I was looking at her. I'm like, I don't know if there's another day you can come back, or I'm like, if you really want to, you can wait, but I don't know how long it's going to take. They're busy. And she sits there and looks at me, and she's like, well, I guess I'll just wait. So I'm like, okay. So now I'm periodically checking in between patients I'm already doing to see if those orders are entered or not, which they're probably not going to be, because at this point it's almost 4 o'clock where everybody in customer service goes home.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So then later or whatever, after she's been sitting there for, like, I don't know, like 30 minutes or whatever, she gets up and I guess she complains to my coworker, and then and then, like, walks back to ER. And I'm like, and by that time or whatever, I didn't see her again because now the lab's closed.
Oh my goodness.
And then we had another patient almost doing the same thing that called and said had a paper order, and thank God my coworker in the back was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. We have to send it to customer service and stuff because it was like allergy testing, and if I don't know anybody out there has like tried to enter any allergy testing orders before, it's a pain in the butt because it's specific allergies, and most of the time all of them aren't in your system, and you're sitting there trying to figure out how to even enter them correctly. That's why we have people specifically for that job, because they can find what needs to be found.
Data entry and coding are so huge.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was fun. That was fun today.
Yeah, it's like that's literally their job.
Mm-hmm.
They're the coding specialists. They know the codes for everything. You don't.
Right, exactly. Or if they don't know the codes, they know where to find them.
Yeah, sounds like a rough one.
Yep.
Sorry. It's okay, you're with friends now.
So irritated.
I mean, I had a different source of irritation, I guess you could say.
Today?
Irrigation?
Yeah. Irritation.
You irrigate that nose.
I used to on a regular
I
basis.
know.
You don't have
I'm
to
pretty
now.
sure we talked about that
We
at one point.
did not. Maybe.
I think we did.
Well, for those of you who don't know.
I punched her in the face so she could get a nose job.
Sure. Yep, we'll go with that. Yeah, so
Rhinoplasty.
Jasmine just punched me so hard that I had to get a nose job.
Look at these hands.
My big meaty claws.
So yeah, at one point I did have to do regular irrigation. That was, these two have heard the noises.
Mm-hmm.
The hotel rooms.
Oh, they've heard.
I remember hearing you spit, and I was like, that sounds awful. Like, that sounds awful.
And the worst part is that, like, I could completely clear everything out, and then literally within 2 hours, I'd be completely plugged up again.
That's generous,
It was
actually.
horrible.
Like, 2 hours is being a little generous.
It is generous, yeah. But, anyway, so I had to do this really fun continuing education class today. We talked about it before. We've done an episode on it. Go take a listen to that because it's really funny and accurate. Yeah, so I had to do class today, and it's really boring, and I almost fell asleep during the person talking. So I definitely need to go get some coffee, so I did, thank God. Yeah, it was really boring, and then on top of all that, I still had to go back and finish out my day because I didn't have staff to stay till 4:30, so.
Wow.
Yep, I had to go all the way to Fiend Faye.
Oh my gosh, I have another irritating
And then
thing.
I had to, that's an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to be in class all day. And then I had to go to work.
Ew.
Yucky.
Oh my god, I have another one. So the other day or whatever, the one coworker that you guys both know that I don't like very much or whatever. So I was doing so during like downtime between patients and stuff, I was doing like my files and my testing and stuff for the other job that I work or whatever, because I had to keep that up to date. So calm down. So I'm sitting here doing those while we don't have any patients and stuff or whatever, and she asked like what I was doing or whatever, and I'm like, I just gotta get some tests out of the way and stuff or whatever for my other job, and she's like, well, can't you do that on your free time? And I'm sitting here and I'm like thinking to myself, I didn't say it, but I was like, well, you could have shopped for a new car on your free time. You could read your newspapers on your free time. You could do all of this on your free time. You could actually do your job instead of talking to patients or whatever for like an hour in your room. like, I'm sorry, but calm down. It took me like maybe like 20 minutes.
You were doing work.
Yeah, and I was working while I did it.
That's stupid.
Yeah, so that irritated me.
I don't know what it is with yours and my
I think she's
esophagus today, but like we on point with that.
I think she's starting to catch on that like I don't like her that much.
As she should.
She doesn't talk to me that much anymore, which I'm fine with, honestly.
I was gonna say that's good for you.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I know how she be irritating you. I hear enough about her.
She's just like oblivious to like everything. I don't know. She's just oblivious to it. I don't know why. It's probably because she's old. It's that dang boomer generation.
Y'all remember Jeff Foxworthy? This is your sign to retire.
It really is. I mean, she's old enough. She's past the age of retirement.
Yeah. Well, some people just don't retire, and I don't know why.
That will be her. She'll probably die doing blood draws.
I was gonna say, is she gonna keel over at work?
Yeah, she probably will. She'll have a needle in somebody's arm and she'll just die.
Maybe on her way down, she'll take it out and poke herself.
Well,
what a way to go.
What a way to go.
Y'all are ridiculous.
All I can think of, like, for venting wise, is the same stuff that I talk about to you guys.
Yeah, which is legit.
So we have kitchen staff where I work. They don't take care of anything other than cooking and serving and
which
like
is
running the dishwasher or something.
Okay.
I'm expected.
This is so strange.
Hold up. I'm expected to cut up fruit for the next day. I'm expected to sweep and mop in the kitchen and the dining room. The dining room, I don't care about. Like, that's, like, part of the actual living situation for these residents. But, like, why am I sweeping and mopping the kitchen every single night? And why is it, like, I work with Neanderthals that can't clean up after themselves in the kitchen? I'm not kidding, dude. I will send you pictures. It's gross.
It's really funny. But no, it's so weird. So, like, big people that have all had experience in, like, working at big facilities that have had full kitchens.
We don't even touch the kitchen.
No, you don't do anything.
Most of the time, they don't even want the caregivers in the kitchen.
When you work at a facility that has kitchen staff, it's different when the caregivers are the kitchen staff. That's different. But when you work at a facility where they are fully, like, they have a full kitchen, the caregivers don't do anything. They're not even supposed to be in there. Because that creates more, like, risk for infection and
more chaos. Yeah, like, because all the kitchen staff, they have, like, the hairnets, they have, like, all the... Yep, they have, like, all the specific diets and everything. The caregivers, usually when there's a full kitchen staff, don't know all that stuff. They know, like, who gets what tray, like, if they're handing them out, but that's, like, all they do.
They're never expected to do any sort of prep or anything like that. Like, all the facilities I've ever worked at that had kitchen staff, like, if you even walked in there, you had to, like, tell them why you were going in there, what you were getting, try and be as quick as possible to get the heck out, because they're going to look at you and they're going to be like, okay, well, you need to wipe down this surface that you just touched. Now I need to throw away this food. Like,
right.
That is so crazy to me.
And I mean, it's not like the building that I work at is huge, but it's still, like, mind-baffling to me.
Yeah.
Baffling, whatever. Like, the AM cook is the one that cooks all 3 meals and usually does all 3 snacks. Like, they'll have the snack prepared for PMs or whatever. But the PM person is literally just warming up the food unless it's like grilled cheese or something, then that, oh my god, you have to put butter on bread and cheese and throw it on like the griddle so hard. Oh, I'm not going to get into that right now. Anyways, so then they hand the caregivers the plates and they'll tell us like which resident it's for. That's all they do.
It's ridiculous to me.
So like I have to set tables, and most of the time I have to go over and re-wipe the tables down because the PM kitchen staff just doesn't do a great job with that. And then like the countertops, there's always like juice stains and like butter or crumbs or jelly or like there's always something. And it's disgusting.
It just doesn't make sense either, because usually after you're cooking for, like, that meal, you would, like, clean up.
Yeah.
And that's
start
the
again.
thing. I have watched them all, like, wipe it down or whatever. And, like, the caregivers, when they do have to prep the snack on PMs, it's usually, like, celery and peanut butter or something. So I can see if there's, like, a little peanut butter on the counter.
Like,
but how is it everywhere?
Why are you even prepping snacks, to be honest? Like, that should be something that you should be doing throughout the day.
I know.
Like, it should be
know.
breakfast. You could prep for snacks or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then do lunch,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like, I don't know, prep for more snacks or whatever. Or the PMs could prep snacks for next days or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just dumb to me.
Not only that, but also as someone who has worked in healthcare for a long time and also worked in a restaurant, there's always a huge like to-do list that they have at the end of the night that they have to make sure is completed, and you can't leave until it's complete.
Right.
And that includes fully cleaning and making sure all the prep for the next day is done.
Well, like
Honestly,
the other day when I
it's
worked...
a good thing that I don't work there, because I would have totally been like, they would have like yelled at me. They're just like, well, why aren't you prepping all this? Because
Because
you have kitchen staff.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And then my one coworker that I've told you guys about, that's like really bitchy towards me very often. The one day I asked her, I was like, I just don't understand why I'm the one that has to cut up the fruit. And she's like, because it sets them back in the morning. What do you mean?
They can cut it up the night before.
Literally, I don't care who does it as long as it's not me. Like, why am I wasting 45 minutes to an hour cutting up fruit into tiny little bite-sized pieces?
Yeah, of course it's gonna set them back in the morning if they don't do it the night before.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, the PM kitchen staff, like, one of them, like the younger one that I've told you guys about, he'll have everything done. Like, he's not scheduled to leave until, I think, like, 6 or 6:30. He leaves well before that every day.
Yeah, see, if he would stay until the end of his shift, he would have plenty of time to clean the kitchen afterwards. And even probably mop the dining room, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dining room's one thing.
Like I said, I don't care about the dining room, but like...
That's crazy.
And it's not like it's a huge kitchen either, so like it doesn't take super long, but it still takes long enough where it takes time away from other things that I could be doing.
Right. Like, it makes sense if, like, okay, say after the kitchen staff leaves, you go in there, you make a snack, whatever. Sure, if you make a mess, clean it up. Absolutely. But you shouldn't be expected to clean the entire kitchen every night when there's a kitchen staff.
Right.
That's
It
crazy.
doesn't make any sense.
That is crazy.
Sense.
Like, I can't tell you guys how many times I've told these guys my job is to make it sparkle, and I can't make it sparkle if I walk in and it's already fucking dirty. Flippin' dirty. Sorry.
Like, pretty much everywhere I've ever worked that had a kitchen staff, they usually have someone come in at like 6, and they usually do either like a 6 to 6 or a 6 to 3, and then there's usually a 3 to 7 or a 4 to 8. So that person will serve dinner, do dinner, prep snacks for the next day, clean the kitchen, and then leave. And then when the AM kitchen person comes in, they do all the prep.
AM kitchen person is 6:30 to 3, and PM kitchen person is 4:30 to 6.
That's more than enough time to get everything done.
Right.
That's crazy.
And, like, the thing is, if it's something that has to go in the oven, 9 times out of 10, the caregivers are putting it in the oven and, like, preheating the oven because 4:30 is too late for anything to go in the oven. So, yeah, there's that. Oh, I forgot, the PM kitchen person gets them their drinks. Ooh. Hard.
Who does the dishes?
Kitchen staff. But again, it's like
Thank God.
they throw it in soapy water, run the scrub daddy over it, and throw it in the dishwasher. And most of the time there's dishes left over because there's 15 residents. So if it's like soup and sandwiches, you have bowls and plates and cups and, like the excess stuff. But
Thank God if I
yeah,
had to
usually
do
there's dishes left
on,
over.
on nights or whatever, I'd be like pissed.
I do. I
Well,
still,
like a few isn't like a big deal, but like a lot.
there's been nights where it's a bit much, but most of the time it's not that bad.
Honestly, I would just leave it in the sink for AMs then.
I mean, all I really have to do is put them in the dishwasher. And usually that part's done by PM caregivers. Like, by the time I get there, I just usually have to start it and empty it when they're done.
I always hated when they were, like, total a-holes about, like, if you didn't stick to the process. Because most places I worked, big facilities, they usually have the sink where you, like, rinse them off, then you have the dishwasher, and then you have the sanitizing station.
Yeah, you have, like, the soapy, like, sanitizer, rinse, whatever.
Mm-hmm. We don't have the sanitizer. It's just the...
Oh, the sanitizers, okay, they're annoying because they get so hot to the point where it's, like, dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a good idea.
It is.
But it used to irritate me because, like, sometimes, say I forget, everybody makes mistakes, whatever.
Everybody has those days.
Everybody
like,
knows what I'm
what I'm
talking
talking
about.
about.
They
Everybody
used to be
gets that way.
so mean about it, though. Like, if I ever forgot, like, one dish to go in the sanitizing station, I would get, like, written off. It was ridiculous.
Oh, that's bogus.
Mm-hmm. Really grinds my gears.
Like, okay, so one time I put this resident doll in there because she always chewed on it, like, all the time. And it was really gross. And just, like, cleaning it was not going to help it. So I put it in the sanitizing station. It was literally a sanitizing station. It's to clean things.
Mm-hmm.
And I got written up for cross-contamination because, we put dishes in there. There were no dishes in there.
Sanitizing station.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I mean, I get it because technically that shouldn't be around,
well, yeah, but, like,
stuff.
obviously if you're like, emptying it out or whatever after you did that, like, what's the problem?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I could see if you were, like, did it and then, like, continued doing dishes or something through it. That
No,
would be
it was
different.
after I had put all the dishes away, and she left her dolly laying out on the dining room table because I had, like, finished getting everything all cleaned up. And I was like, you know what? I was like, let me just run this through. Like, it was fine.
Whatever.
It was so
That's
irritating.
So dumb.
I couldn't believe that I got written off for that. I was like, really?
That's really stupid.
That's ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
Good God.
Well, I think that's kind of the end of our BITCH session.
You mean shift report?
Make sure you guys put this all in the communication log.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also find us at Boss Ravioli Queens on TikTok and Facebook, and I don't even think we really post on, like, X or Twitter or whatever it is now.
Nope.
No.
So, bossravioliqueens@gmail.com is where you can email us if you have any suggestions, ideas,
Comments, questions,
sponsorship.
Sponsorships.
I'm going to shamelessly plug that till the day I die.
Ravioli sponsor us.
Yeah.
Can Chef Boyardee do that, please?
Monster, Crocs, whatever else.
Carhartt scrubs, because y'all expensive for, like, no reason, though.
Oh my God.
Okay, bye!
Bye.